Hello, this is Abby from Uyghur Marketing Department, and today we will learn some basic knowledges about Uyghur products. The first part is about Uyghur hollow fiber dialyzers. First, let's take a look at all the products that Uyghur can provide. The key product is hollow fiber dialyzers. Now we have developed low flux, high flux, and middle flux HDF series. And also we can provide bloodlines that are compatible with common dialysis machines. And also we have fistula needle size with different gauges. And besides, we also have many types of dialysis concentrate. And apart from these consumables, we can also provide water treatment equipment and dialysis chair, dialysis bed, and mixing tank. This is our dialyzer families. We can see they are in different colors, and each color stands for one series. For example, this orange color, it is from our HDF series, and for this green color, it's from our high flux series, and I will show you their details later. This is a roadmap of all the hollow fiber dialyzers that we can provide right now. And we have classified these hollow fiber dialyzers into 5 series, whose surface area from 1 to 2.3 square meters. And the naming method of Uyghur dialyzer is very easy. For example, low flux, F12, F means flux, and 12 means its surface area is 1.2 square meters. And for this middle flux, MF14, MF means middle flux, and 14 means its surface area is 1.4 square meters. And for our high flux series, we have classified it into 2 series. They are EH series and HF series. Their biggest difference is about their sterilization method. For EH series, they are sterilized by electron beam or E-beam. But for HF series, they are sterilized by gamma ray. And apart from this point, their performance may be a little different. The parameters of our EH series is a little better than HF series. And also we have 6 models for recommended for hemodial filtration treatment. They can be used with 2-pump dialysis machine. And then please take a look at this table. The models that I mentioned just now is PC housing or PC shell. And for each series, their sterilization methods are different. And for all PC housing dialyzer, they have been approved by CE. And also now we are developing and registering for our PP housing dialyzers. In PP shell series, we have divided it into 2 types. They are middle flux and high flux. All the models are from 1.5 to 2.4 square meters. And they are all sterilized by electron beam. From current situation, maybe we will get CMDR certificate in early 2024-25. And all these hollow fiber dialyzers are packaged 24 pieces per carton, and their shelf life is 3 years. Because just now, from our PC housing dialyzers roadmap, we can see we have not only low flux series, but also we have low flux high performance series. So what's the difference? We can draw conclusion from these 3 tables. Okay, the first table we can see Vigo F15 is the phosphate clearance rate is better than that of Bibron stair cap and Nipro's short flux series. And so does F18 and F20. And that's the answer. Vigo low flux high performance series. Its positioning is better phosphate clearance rate. Because as we know, for ESRD patients, there are many endotoxins accumulated in their blood, and it includes many phosphate molecules. And those phosphate endotoxins are harmful to the patient body. So we aim to remove more of these endotoxins during the treatment. So we developed the low flux high performance series. Yeah, it's aimed to remove more of phosphate. And this is a cross-section view of Vigo dialyzer. The key part is hollow fiber membrane. All Vigo hollow fiber membrane is made of polysulfone, which is the same with Fresenius and Bibron. And the other key part of dialyzer is the housing. And its housing is made of polycarbonate. And in the 2 ends of the dialyzers and the caps, there are 2 sealing rings, or we can also call it O-ring. These 2 O-rings is made of medical silicone rubber, and which is designed to avoid the human blood adhering to the internal surface of the end cap. And also in the 2 ends of the dialyzer, we can also see 2 parts with yellow color. This yellow part is polyurethane, whose abbreviation is PU. This material is designed to guarantee the human blood going into the dialyzer only through those hollow fibers, but not the space between each fibers. And this page shows several parameters of Vigo hollow fiber membrane. First, all Vigo hollow fiber membrane is made of PSU, and its wall thickness is 40 microns, and its inner diameter is 200 microns. And also, Vigo is the first and the largest dialysis membrane manufactured in China. And in this page, we will learn about some common parameters of dialyzer. And this part is very important because when we preparing for a tender or compare with competitors, we will use these parameters. We must know the parameters training, the parameters meaning, and how to use it. Okay, I will talk about the dialyzer from the parameter from left to right. Okay, the first parameter is UF coefficient. Its whole name is ultrafiltration coefficient. Let's just choose F12 as an example. We can see F12 is UF coefficient is 16. That means that means under 1 atmospheric pressure and during 1 hour's treatment, the dialyzer will filter out 16 milliliter of water. Yeah, UF coefficient is related to the removal capacity of excess water. And then the second parameter is clearance, or we can call it a clearance rate. We can see there are 3 groups of clearance. The only difference among these 3 groups is their QB value. QB means blood flow rate. QB means blood flow rate. But usually, during clinical use, the nurses usually set a blood flow rate around 300 milliliter per minute. And during competitors comparison, we will also choose group 1 and group 2 because their QB value is most popular. So what's the meaning of clearance? We can see here we use 4 substances to evaluate the dialyzer's clearance rate. These four substances are defined according to the international industrial standard. Urea, creatinine, phosphate, and vitamin B12. They all belong to small or middle molecules. And also we will choose F12 as an example. We can see when the blood flow rate is 200 milliliter per minute, the urea clearance rate is 180. That means during 1 minute treatment, there are 200 milliliter of patient blood flowing through the dialyzer, but only 180 milliliter of the patient blood have been filtered urea completely. In the other words, it means during 1 minute treatment, there are how many patient blood have been filtered completely. And the meaning in group 2 and group 3 are all the same. The only difference is about their QB value. And the bigger QB value is, and the bigger the clearance rate will be. So the third parameter is QA-urea. QA-urea. From its name, we can see it's a parameter that related with urea. Yes, that's right. Because it's in positive relationship with urea clearance. Usually we just use the urea clearance under blood flow rate 300 to calculate the QA-urea, and they are in positive relationship. So the bigger urea clearance rate is, and the bigger QA-urea will be. This parameter is not so much important, but we just need to know that QA-urea is a supplementary parameter with urea clearance. And then the first parameter, effective surface area. This parameter is quite simple because it just refers to the total surface area of all the hollow fiber membrane. And the last parameter is priming volume. You know, before the treatment, the nurses will have to rinse the sterilizer because maybe there are micro bubbles or mini particles inside the hollow fibers. So they must use normal saline or online dialysis to rinse the sterilizer. And priming volume means how much normal saline or online dialysis they use during this procedure. And priming volume is a very important parameter for clinical professionals. For doctor, they will decide the dialyzer model according to the priming value, because for little child, because their blood quantity is very limited, so the doctor will choose a smaller priming volume model for them. And then I will introduce the parameters of high flux sterilizer. Because for low flux or middle flux sterilizer, they are designed to remove small or middle molecules. But for high flux sterilizers, they are designed to filter out those large molecules too. So in order to evaluate their capacity on a large molecules removal, the internal industrial standard also defined a parameter that is saving coefficient. And here are the four substances to evaluate a high flux sterilizer's performance. They are beta-2 methylhemoglobin and methylhemoglobin, inulin, and albumin. The former three substances are harmful to patient body, because if they accumulate too much in the patient blood, it will cause many clinical complications like nausea or headache or even death. So the saving coefficient of these three substances are the bigger the better, because if the value is bigger, that means through the treatment, the dialyzer will filter out more of these endotoxins. But for albumin is a very important substance inside our blood, and is beneficial to our body. So when we use high-flux dialyzer to remove these large molecular endotoxins, we will try our best to retain albumin inside the patient blood. So for a dialyzer, their albumin saving coefficient is the smaller the better. Now let's learn about some features of Vigo hollow fiber dialyzers. The first feature is about microwave design. We can see this picture. All the hollow fibers have many microwaves. That's designed to make sure in a certain length of dialyzer fiber, microwave design will increase the whole surface area of the fiber. Once the surface area increased, and then the touch surface between dialysis site and blood site will also increase too. So there will be more substances exchange passages for blood site and dialysis site. So microwave design, this feature can increase the treatment efficiency. And the second feature of our dialyzer is a smooth cutting surface. This surface. And in order to make this surface smooth enough, in the workshop, we will cut it at least 5 times. Because if it is not smooth enough, it will cause blood cell damage. Once the blood cell injuries occur, that will increase the risk of blood coagulation. So this feature is designed to guarantee the treatment safety. And the third feature of Vigo dialyzer is a smaller priming volume. That means Vigo dialyzer's blood compartment volume is smaller than the other competitors. This feature will, because the priming volume is smaller, so during priming for procedures, the nurses will use less normal saline, and this will help them to save cost. And apart from this point, smaller priming volume can also reduce the risk of hypertension during the treatment, because for each body, their blood cells in quantity are limited. But if the dialyzer's priming volume is very big, then during the treatment, there will be more blood be dropped out of the patient body. and less blood will retain inside the body. So a bigger primary volume will increase the risk of hypertension, while smaller primary volume can reduce the risk of hypertension. And the first feature of wiggle dialyzer is about their end caps. From this table, we can see this is a wiggle dialyzer, and both color and structures of the two end cap are all the same. So for the clinical users, when after they taking out a dialyzer from the box, it will be there is no need for them to identify which part is for blood in and which part is for blood out. So this design will help them to save time. You know, for most area, one nurse will have to take care of 5 to 6 patients. So they are very busy, and this design will help them to improve their work efficiency. But for some other competitors like B. Brown's Sibonta series or Nipro Eliseo series, the color and the color of and structure of the two end cap are different. So that will increase, that will let the nurses have to identify the blood in and blood out port. And these two pictures shows our membrane spanning workshop and the dialyzer assembly workshop. All these manufactured devices were imported from Germany, and which is the same with Fresenius. And these are the hollow fiber bundles. Okay, now let's take a look at our test report of our hollow fiber dialyzers. The first report is from XCoLab. You can search on the network. XCoLab is a very famous membrane testing center. And from their test, they said wiggle low flux dialyzers clearance rate is similar with Fresenius hemoflow series, and also the saving coefficient for inulin and ultrafiltration coefficient is more like a middle flux dialyzer. They speak highly of our low flux series. So what's the performance of our high flux dialyzers? This is another test report from DMAT. You know, DMAT is a chain dialysis product and dialysis service provider. And we have a few years ago, we have sent our low flux and high flux dialyzer for testing. And from DMAT clinical test, this site, we go high flux and low flux dialyzer have good biocompatibility. And during the treatment, there were no memorable symptoms occur. And these pictures are our hollow fiber dialyzer manufacturing work lines. And now we have 13 production lines in total, and whose annual manufacturing capacity can reach to 65 million pieces per year, and that will satisfy our customers' needs in time. And this page shows the facts and figures of the year 2022. We can see both Vigo sterilizer and bloodlines has ranked #1 in China for many years. But for our dialysis machine, we just ranked #2, and #1 is Fresenius. And in the year 2022, we have sold 31 million dialyzers. That's really that's really a large market share. And this is our product roadmap overseas. Now we have received more than 200 registration certificates for our whole fiber dialyzers, and dialyzers have been sold in more than 60 countries now. Okay, let's start our second part. In this part, we will learn about the performance difference between Vigo dialyzer and other brands. So how to compare the performance of two dialyzers? There are 3 points for you to note. The first one is you must choose similar surface area. And usually, for example, if the clinical if the end user is using surface area 1.2 square meters, so we can recommend our dialyzer whose surface area is similar around 1.2, and usually the surface area difference is less than 0.2 square meters. So if they use 1.2, we can recommend 1.2, 1.1 and 1.3, 1.4 square meters for them. And also, in order to reduce the risk of clinical complication, we recommend to use similar performance parameters models. It means during clinical switching, we must make sure the two dialyzers parameters like clearance rate or UFR value or primary volume is similar. And the third point is about the flux. Usually, if the patient is using low flux sterilizer, we just recommend low flux or low flux high performance too. And if they use high flux, we just recommend high flux too. In generally, we recommend similar surface area, similar performance parameters, and similar flux during dialyzer switching, because this will help to make the patient feel more comfortable. And these are the brands that I heard from Simon that are more common in Poland, in your country. So now let's compare their parameters. For example, if the end user is using 1.8 sterilizer now, we just recommend our low flux 1.8 square meters to F18. And the parameter difference is use wiggle parameter to minus Frasinius parameter. If the difference is positive, that means wiggle parameter is better. And if the difference is negative, that means the Frasinius parameters are better. So when we compare wiggle F18 and Frasinius F8 HPS, we can see all the different parameter difference are positive. So we can draw conclusions that wiggle dialyzers, wiggle F18's clearance rate are much better than Frasinius. And also for our UFR coefficient, we can see wiggle F18's QF is bigger than Frasinius. So for wiggle F18, it can remove more excess water. And also, wiggle F18's primary volume is smaller than Frasinius. So when the end user switching to wiggle F18 dialyzer, they will use less saline, and also it will risk their patients' hypertension rate. And the serialization method between these two brands are different. For wiggle, it's serialized by radiation, while Frasinius is serialized by steam. But these two methods are similar, and these two methods have little effect on the parameters. And then we use wiggle F18 to compare with Frasinius FS class series FX10. We can see there are four parameters are positive, while only 3 parameters are negative. So generally, we can say the two dialyzers performance is similar. You can just switch into wiggle F18 directly. And also, wiggle's QF is bigger than Frasinius, and the primary volume is similar to. When we use wiggle dialyzer to compare with Medica Smart Flux LFP 180, we can see only 2 parameters are positive, while 6 parameters are negative. So generally, they are similar, but Medica performs a little better. And then here are the comparison between wiggle and their life. We can see from this table, wiggle parameters seems not so good. But let's just take a look at their test conditions. For their life, when we test their clearance rate, they set their QF value as 10 milliliter per minute, while for Wigo, all our parameters were tested under QF0. And this QF value will affect the final result. And also, in this table, we can see Wigo compare with Nipro dialyzers. And for some parameters, Wigo perform better, and for some parameters, Nipro seems better. But the test condition for Nipro, they set their QF value also as 10 milliliter per minute. So when we set their QF as 10 milliliter per minute, let's take a look at this calculating formula. This formula will show the relationship between QF and clearance rate. We can see clearance rate is positively related to QF. So the bigger QF is, and the bigger the clearance rate will be. So for Medica and Nipro, because they set their QF as 10, but we set QF just 0. So if we set their QF as 0, 2, maybe the difference will be smaller. And in the other words, if Wigo set QF value as 10, 2, as 10, so Wigo's clearance rate will perform better than the current ones. And apart from the clearance rate, there has also another promotion points for you for your reference. The parameters including clearance rate, UFR, the bigger the better, because if the dialyzer has bigger clearance rate and ultrafiltration rate, that means the dialyzer can filter out more endotoxins and more excess water. And for primary volume, most end users will prefer smaller primary volume because this will help them to save cost and also can reduce the risk of hypertension. And the other difference between Wigo and Nipro or Biosinians is about the housing material. For Nipro Edicil series and for Biosinians FS class series, their housing material of their dialyzer is polypropylene, while for Wigo is polycarbonate. You can see this picture. PP housing seems not as transparent as PC housing. And except for their appearance, they also have many other differences. For PC housing or polycarbonate housing, polycarbonate has stronger mechanical property. So during transportation or during clinical use, PC housing dialyzer will not so easy to be broken. But for PP housing, because polypropylene, its a mechanical property is not so good. So PP housing dialyzer will be easier to be broken during transportation or clinical use. And also because of their mechanical property, because PC have stronger mechanical property, so PC housing can be designed for reuse, but for PP, because it will be very easier to be broken during when you open the cap and close the cap during this procedure. So all PP housing dialyzer cannot be used, cannot be reused. And also because PP housing dialyzer, their transparency are not so good. So it will be difficult for the nurses to observe the blood situation inside the dialyzer. But for PC housing, because it's very, very transparent. So the nurses will observe the internal situation from a long distance very easily. You can just choose the proper portion point according to your situation. And then let's learn some basic information about vagal bloodline and the fistula needle site. The biggest feature of vagal bloodline is its high customization. It's highly customization. For the bloodlines, all their accessories and all the lunges, and the lines are very flexible, and we can customize the model according to your requirement. Now we have developed both ETO sterilized and radiation sterilized bloodlines. And they can be compatible with many brands of dialysis machine, like Nikiso, Nipro, Fresenius, B. Braun, and so on. And for fistula needle site, we also have many models for you to choose. The most popular one is 16G. This one. But for some countries, 17G and 50G are also in need. And for each gauge, we have two needle lines, 25 and 32 millimeter. And from the name of our fistula needle, we can see 1.4 means the outer diameter of the needle. For 17G, its outer diameter is 1.4 millimeter, while this one, 25, means its needle length is 25 millimeter. And G means its fixed wing, and X means its rotary wing. And D means in one package, there is only one needle inside the package, while For S means there are two needles. There are two needles inside one package. And for different G, their wing color are different. And apart from these common parameters, WIGO can also provide with 300 milliliter soft tube and also 150 or 200 millimeter of soft tube are also available. Because the structure of fistula needle site is very easy, so we just got some feedback from our from the nurses and from some patients. From the nurses' view, this side, the WIGO fistula needle is very easy to puncture, and from patient view, this side, when they use WIGO fistula needle site, they will feel less pain during the treatment. Okay, that's all for today's training. And if you have any question, you can ask me freely. And thanks for your time. Bye bye.